This is Poland, the ninth most populous country in Europe, and this is their capital city, Warsaw, which has a very bustling metropolitan area. Poland has an extensive border along Germany at 467 kilometers long, from Czechoslovakia through all this jaggedness here at 796 kilometers. They also have a border down here with Slovakia at 541 kilometers. They also have a border with Ukraine at 535 kilometers, one with Belarus with 418 kilometers, and they also have one with the Russian Oblast of Kaliningrad of 210 kilometers. This is also a Russian exclave, but their smallest border is with the Baltic country of Lithuania at 104 kilometers long. To the north is the brackish sea of the Baltic Sea, and they have vital ports at Gdansk and Gdynia, and this one over here, which is very difficult to pronounce. It is not considered Eastern Europe. It's not also considered Western Europe. It is considered Central Europe. And it's even pointed out that the middle of Europe actually falls to the west of Poland around such a walla. So much so that they have even put up a signpost here about it and a monument to be the center of Europe. Although this has been disputed by Lithuania, Belarus, and the Ukraine. Poland has some very odd borders, including this section through here, which is a tri-point border between Germany's Saxony, Czechia's Liberec region, and Poland's Silesian area. There is one major city in here, and it is Bogatina. And right at the edge of the tri-point, there is a coal mine and power station. You cannot get to this section without going through road through Czechia or through Saxony, Germany to get back into Poland. So what do you call this orange part of Poland? It is called a salient. A salient is when a narrow protrusion of another country, being Poland, intrudes into another country. And why did this happen? It happened because of historical swaps of land and because one of the major rivers, the Nisa River, flows through that border. Interestingly, Czechia sued Poland in 2021 over water drainage caused by the coal mine. And what about all this unusual jaggedness along the Czechia and Slovakia border with Poland? This all comes through the Beskidy Mountains. There are lots of coal mines throughout this region, abandoned and still used. Not only is this border natural terrain following the mountain range and rivers, it has seen many towns along the river and the border split and swapped across ethnic lines and Soviet interests. In fact, this border has had many challenges. There is a town just here of Ostrava in Czechia called Cieszyn and Tesin on the other side. And in 1919, they actually had a short war over ethno-linguistic lines. So what about all this zigzagginess through Belarus? This is actually a natural fortification, which is very handy with Belarus, and it makes up the Bug River. Along this, there are many villages, and this is called a zigzag demarcation. And before World War II, the city of Brest in Belarus was actually a Polish city. But after World War II, it was reshuffled under an ethnic alignment. And see this sticking out here? How the border goes into the ocean? It goes onto the vestibular spit. This was also divided after World War II, and in 2022, Poland opened a canal so they could bypass Russian-controlled waters. This border section here is called an exclave border zone. To the western border, we have the Schengen border, and this allows very easy travel for Polish people and German people to the two countries. Also to the south with Czechia and Slovakia, but it is much more difficult to go into Eastern Europe from Poland with stricter borders. The largest city by metropolis size is Warsaw, with a population of 3.1 million, or 8.2% of the entire Polish population. It is known for government, finance, tech, and even film and media. The next major city is Korkro. Its population for its metro is 1.4 million, and it is known for tourism, culture, and even Google is here. The third largest city is the city of Lodz, and it has 650,000 people, with logistics and manufacturing as its vital industries. That's probably why a lot of people say that Lodz isn't very pretty. Next is the city of Wrocław, and it has a population of 640,000 people, with finance, IT, and a lot of universities in the city. And the fifth largest city is a city closer to Germany. It is the city of Poznan, and it has a population of 540,000 people, and they are mostly in the industry, manufacturing, but also have world-class universities. Russian cities throughout the country all have internet speeds of around 130 to 160 MBSs, but the rural suffer with their internet. Rent in Poland is generally cheap at 400 to 700 euros per month, but this is great for students and digital nomads. But it is actually groceries that are the most expensive items, with 23% VAT on imported goods as well, and there has been 20 to 30% inflation since 2021. Although you can get healthcare for almost free under the NFZ. 98% of the population speak Polish, although in the southern city of Katowice, there is actually quite a big population of Salian dialect, and English makes up also 30 to 40% of the language spoken, namely by younger people. Poland also has a sizable population that live above the blue line to the Baltic coast, with 10.6% of people living above the blue line, or 4 million people. 96% of people identify themselves as Poles, but there is actually 20% Poles that live outside of Poland, namely 1 million that live in the UK. 60% of Poland's population live within the cities, leaving 43,000 villages scattered throughout the rest of Poland. Also, 1.5 million Ukrainians have moved into Poland in recent years. The busiest arterial coming through Poland is the Autostrada A2 or the E30, which runs through Poznan. It is an international trade route that then comes through the top of Lodz into Warsaw and then heads further out and over the Belarusian border. This A2 road has a lot of freight running along it. It even has tolls despite having no alternate routes that are very good. You can also get a ferry from Gdynia to Sweden that takes about 10 hours, and also one from this port to Sweden, which takes closer to 6 to 8 hours. Unfortunately, there is no ferries to Finland, Denmark, or Norway. So this area through here, why is there not much here? That is because this is the Masurian Lake District, and it's almost a wonder of the world. It has over 2,000 lakes, almost rivaling Finland and Sweden. It is called Poland's green lungs, and I can see why. The Masurian Lake District has lots of farming, fishing, forest activities, and forestry industry, as well as plenty of ecotourism. Poland is a very religious, with 87% of all Poles being Catholic, and of that, 40% attend church regularly. One of the fascinating things I found out about Poland is down here in Zakopane, there is actually a very cool ski resort. And what about Poland's relationship with its neighbors? Well, with Russia, you can say that they have historic trauma and the public sentiment is overwhelmingly negative. With Belarus, it is considered hostile, threatening, and the public sentiment is also negative. With Germany, the relationship is mixed, but it is cooperative. With the Ukraine, their relationship is considered friendly and public sentiment is high. And the same goes for Czechia, Slovakia, and Lithuania, where they have great friendly relations with. The cheapest city in all of Poland is the city of Helm, where it will only cost you $230 a month for a one-bedroom to rent. The most expensive is in the south of Warsaw in a suburb called Wilanow, and you can get rent for €2,000 a month, or you could buy a home for 3 to 5 million PLN. The most dangerous city in all of Poland is Lodz, and it is 20% above the national crime rate. For example, Warsaw has a crime index of 43.1, whereas Lodz is a crime index of 52. But overall, Poland is considered very non-violent. It has very low gun crime, and the currency in Poland is the zloty, or PLN, and it means golden. But there is no euro, there is no public support for it. So this is Poland with a population of 37.7 million citizens, but it is actually shrinking. In 1996, they had 38.5 million citizens. It also has a GDP that is the 6th largest in the EU. So this is the map of Poland explained. Do you live here? What do you think about Poland? Is it as safe as they say? Is it as homogeneous as they say? Let me know in the comments what you think.